This is the budget simulation. This is from the White House, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. They just want to give you a chance to look at some of the decisions that Congress has to make and the President has to make about the budget, whether they should cut money in some places, whether they should spend money in more places, if they need to collect more taxes, which is revenue or money coming in for the government. So they're giving you the chance to learn more about this. And if you read all this, it is not a lot of reading. It'll give you an idea of what they're looking for. The public debt at 60% of GDP is an internationally recognized standard that represents a sound target for stabilizing the debt over the next decade. So what they're saying over here is you need to cut $4,840,000. You need to cut to get under the 60% of the GDP by 2024 in order to be successful at this business, at this simulation. So you need to read all this. It's directions on what to do. And if you want some more information, this is a very good resource about the federal budget. So read about it, see what our government is thinking, and then when you're ready, click the next button down at the bottom and start the simulation. Now there's going to be different areas that you're going to choose your budget decisions on. This one is choosing a budget path. Afghanistan, after the sequester, which is when the government wouldn't pay anything and the government shut down for a while. And you just keep going on this budget. You'll get into domestic decisions. You'll get into international decisions. You'll get into guns or military decisions. And you'll get into domestic or decisions like welfare and Social Security or Medicare or health insurance and things like that. So you have a lot to decide on this. If you don't understand what they're talking about, such as this is further reduced discretionary spending, which is one of your vocabulary words, there is an I for information here. Click for more information and it will tell you exactly what discretionary spending is all about to help you make further decisions. Red, this is something that is like adding to the budget. That's why it's in red. If it's a minus and in blue, that means you are taking away that money to help balance the budget. So when I did this, I reduced the debt to 52% of GDP. So I'm down to zero. That is great. You can see by my chart also that I'm at 52% and I only needed to cut below 60%. So I would, when making a screenshot of this, I would grab onto this part. This would be the best part to show me. Then you can do your analysis based on what categories you chose to either cut spending or increase revenue. And here's by type. I chose to increase revenue, and by this chart right up here, I wanted to increase taxes, and I wanted to increase taxes on the people that were able to pay, the ability to pay principal in taxes and spending. The more somebody makes, the more they're able to pay. So that's just how I feel. I do, my savings came from healthcare. I believe in the healthcare system, but it can be revamped right now. Social Security was very important to me, and cutting savings, I believe defense is important, and a lot of the domestic issues that we have are important. So you can see that I didn't choose to cut these areas very much. So these are some of the decisions that you would have to make. Now when you're in this budget simulation, this is the rubric I'm talking about. Did you get a screenshot of summary? You get 2 points for that. Explanation of which you use to reduce budget revenue or spending. I would talk about increasing revenue and in kind of what taxes for the rich that I decided should be implemented. 3 areas that suffer the most. So if you click this view longer description, did you see a pattern between domestic and international decisions? Choose a couple of areas from your category chart. What current events or people might have affected your decision? What is your personal or educated belief in the cuts that you chose? So in looking at those type of questions, my personal decision was I believe in the healthcare system, but I definitely think that savings could come from this area. The areas that suffered the most, yes, the areas that suffered the most was the healthcare and taxing the rich, and a little bit on Social Security, revamping that, upping the age and everything. So I would talk a couple things about that. 3 areas that were the most important to you in your budget. You click the long description, choose a couple of areas. Again, read this, go back to your chart, look at here, look at how you answered some of the questions, and think about some of your beliefs of what is important to you, what is important to this country at the time, and why. And I think you'll get a pretty good score on this. This next one, don't forget to do that. This is a website on President Obama's 2014 budget. It talks about it here. And it also has the top 10 things you need to know about President Obama's budget for 2014. And when you read this, how do these things compare to what you chose in the budget simulation? So there's a lot to think about, and summarize it as best you can, but get the most points that you can for the money. This one, basically, you're just discussing the similarities or differences between your budget and President Obama's. So it all comes down to beliefs. But what I want you to think about for this assignment is these are tough decisions that everybody has to make, because when you cut money in one area, people suffer. If you increase money in another area, you have to take it away from another place. So just want you to come to realize what decisions the government and the president have to think about when making budget decisions.